Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Many persons are convicted of crimes on the basis of a positive identification by another person. Law enforcement agencies rely heavily on this type evidence. Early on the morning of August 10th, Mrs. Ethel Carey, owner of a motel, went about her usual routine of starting another day. A day in which she would find it necessary to positively identify her first visitor.
Where's the money?
No, I won't tell you.
Where's the head?
I won't tell you.
Shut up.
Recovering from the attack, Mrs. Carey immediately placed an urgent call to the highway patrol. She stated that she had recognized the man who forced his way into her apartment, and that she could positively identify him as one of the guests now registered at the motel. Minutes later, officers Peterson and Bergen had apprehended the suspect, Roger Taylor, in his bungalow at the motel court.
Better take another look inside, see if you can find the hat and coat.
Yeah, okay.
Sit down, Taylor.
But I don't understand. I didn't do anything.
You do own a light trench coat and a hat, don't you?
Yes, I
Where
already
are
told.
they?
I don't know. I mean, I hung them in the closet last night. They should still be there. Why are you arresting me? I got a right to know.
I already told you. Attempted robbery and assault with a deadly weapon on Mrs. Carey. She's made positive identification. She recognized your hat and coat. You were wearing them when you checked into the hotel.
But I didn't do it. I swear I didn't. You gotta believe me.
What'd you do after you checked into the motel?
I went to bed. I was tired. I'd been driving all day. I didn't get out of bed until you woke me up.
What's your business, Taylor?
Grocery business. Own a small grocery in Bremerton, Washington. You can check that. Roger Taylor, that's my name. Lots of people know me. I'm on my vacation, driving to Baltimore to meet my wife. She's already there, visiting her mother. I couldn't get away from the store until now. You can check that, too.
We will. Watching. Yeah, Mike?
It's clean. He must have got rid of the hat and coat.
Okay. Why'd you get rid of the hat and coat?
Why would I get rid of them? I tell you, I didn't do anything. Why would I get rid of my hat and coat if I didn't do anything?
Let me talk to Dan Mathews.
Mathews speaking.
Dan, on the motel beating, we picked up the identified suspect, Roger Taylor.
Good. Book him right away and wrap it up.
I would. A couple things don't add up.
What? Well, what makes you think so?
Two things. Why would he admit owning the hat and coat and then take the trouble of hiding them? Secondly, if he did do it, what's he doing here? He's had plenty of time to get to the city and get lost.
All right, see how he feels about a lie detector test. We might be able to save him a lot of trouble.
Okay, hold it. Still claim you're innocent?
Yes, I didn't do it. I wouldn't beat up an old lady. Ask anybody who knows me.
Would you take a lie detector test?
Lie detector? Yeah, I'll take a lie detector test. I'm not afraid of it. Why would I be if I didn't do it?
He'll take it. I'll bring him right into the office. Okay. Let's go. Hold it down.
You won't need me here, so I'll go back to the motel and keep looking for the hat and coat.
Right.
Come in.
Here he is, Roger Taylor.
All right, Mr. Taylor. Will you sit in this chair right here, please?
I want to run an R&I check on this.
All right, go ahead and do it. Left hand, please.
I thought a lie detector was bigger than that.
Well, some of them are.
It'll get me out of this, won't it? It'll know if I'm telling the truth.
If half our suspects are as truthful as this machine, our job would be real easy.
Then it'll prove that I'm innocent. When you know I'm telling the truth, I can go, huh?
Mr. Taylor, it's not quite that easy. This is not allowed as evidence in court. But I will tell you one thing. Whatever you say, it's usually a great help. It usually puts us on the right track. Is your name Roger Taylor?
Yes.
Where do you live?
Bremerton, Washington.
What is your business?
Grocery business?
Did you beat Mrs. Carey?
No.
Where is your wife?
In Baltimore, Maryland?
Did you try to rob Mrs. Carey?
No.
Time and again, Roger Taylor was questioned. Time and again, the suspect denied that he was guilty of the assault and attempted robbery of Mrs. Carey. After nearly 4 hours of interrogation, the contacts were removed from his fingers.
Oh, what did it say? Did it prove I was telling the truth?
Well, Mr. Taylor, there's no indication that you were lying.
I'm sure glad of that.
This came in on the teletype. Bremerton R&I says he has no record. Told the truth about the grocery store and the trip to Baltimore.
All right, Mr. Taylor, I'll be truthful with you. This test is all in your favor, but it doesn't get you off the hook. But I do think it warrants another visit to Mrs. Carey. Where is she, Pete?
Back at the motel, she refused to go at the hospital. Didn't want to spend the money. Guess she's pretty fussy about money.
Fussy, huh? All right, let's see how fussy she is about a lie detector. Find anything yet?
Not yet.
I will be inside. I'd like to talk to Mrs. Carey.
What for? What do you want to go bothering her for? She's already told you all she knows.
I want to talk to her anyway. Get the box, will you? What's your name?
Henry Carey. She's my aunt.
You live here?
Yeah, but I wasn't here when it happened, if that's what you're driving at.
Oh, where were you then?
I was in town buying groceries at Clampett's store, and I can prove it.
Yeah. Tell your aunt I want to see her, will you?
What are you doing here? Henry, I told you not to let them in again.
I'm Dan Mathews, Mrs. Carey. I hate to bother you again. I'll make it as brief as possible.
What's he doing here? He ought to be in jail. What right have you to bring him in here?
Mrs. Carey, it's very important that we know for sure that Taylor's guilty. Now, take a good look at him. You might have been wrong on your identification.
No, I didn't make any mistake. I checked that man in last night. And he was wearing the same hat and coat when he forced his way in here with a gun. He tried to disguise his voice, but he couldn't fool me. Now, he's the one. I'm positive.
Okay, take him out. Mrs. Carey, we've had this man on a lie detector for 4 straight hours. The machine gives every indication he was telling the truth when he said he didn't do it.
I don't care about your lie detector test. It's no good as evidence anyway.
Do you know very much about lie detectors?
I know you can't believe them.
Suppose I prove to you that you can.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Mrs. Carey, you wouldn't want an innocent man to go to prison for a crime he didn't commit, would you?
Why, no, of course not.
Well, we're interested in finding the man who attacked you. You'll help us, won't you?
What do you want me to do?
Submit to a lie detector test.
You think I'm lying?
No, I don't think you're lying, but the machine will show whether you had any doubts about the identification.
You mean I could be lying and not know it?
Well, sometimes we hate to admit things to ourselves. Your nephew, Henry, he could help us with the test, and perhaps you could put us on the right track.
No, you don't. I don't have to take a lie detector test.
Maybe you've got a reason not to. Taylor wasn't afraid to try it. Maybe that's because he had nothing to hide.
I've got nothing to hide.
All right, fine. Then you'll help us.
Go on, Henry. I want to see the machine that can make me out a liar when I'm telling the truth. If it works for you, I'll try it.
All right, fine. Come over here. Sit in that chair. Oh, here. Write down any number between 1 and 5. Don't let me see the number you've written down. Let me have your hand. And now keep your hand spread like that. Say no to whatever questions I ask, even if I hit the number you've written down, right? Was it 4?
No.
1?
No.
Was it 3?
No.
2?
No.
Okay, the number was 3. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, Mrs. Carey. You're next. Now, let me have your left hand, please. And now keep your hand spread like that, please. Is your name Ethel Carey?
Yes?
You own this motel?
Yes.
Your nephew is Henry Carey?
Yes.
You were telling the truth when you identified Taylor as the man who beat you up?
Yes.
Following the usual procedure of asking unimportant questions and touching on the key question when least expected, the interrogation of Mrs. Carey continued for an hour, a shorter period of time than usually required because of her weakened condition, but long enough that a definite conclusion could be reached.
Well, the machine indicates that you're telling the truth.
I guess that proves your lie detector can't be relied on. They both can't be telling the truth.
Yes, they can. The machine indicates that your aunt really believes that Taylor is the man she's telling the truth about, but she still might be wrong in her identification.
Dan,
Yeah?
can I see you a minute?
I'll be right with you. Thanks very much for your cooperation, Mrs. Carey.
So you put him away where he belongs. We can't go around tormenting people.
Thanks for your cooperation, too, Henry. What'd you find?
These. Fresh blood on the gloves. Found them down in back of Taylor's bungalow.
Can you identify these?
Looks like mine.
Where'd you buy this coat?
At home, Bob Jean's apparel store. That is, if it's mine.
It's yours.
I don't know how it got there. I didn't bury them. I swear it.
Well, there's not much more we can do here, Taylor.
Following the arrest of Roger Taylor, a routine questioning of other guests registered at the motel failed to turn up any new evidence in the attempted robbery and assault of Mrs. Ethel Carey. And then a man not previously questioned volunteered some information.
Oh, officer,
Yeah?
my name is Wilbur Morgan. I'm a guest here at the motel since yesterday. I stay here 2 or 3 days every month. I sell farm equipment. I just drove in a few minutes ago from making my calls, and I heard about what happened to Mrs. Carey. I saw the fellow you arrested.
Have you got something to tell us?
Oh, yes, I do. Maybe it'll help. It happened early this morning, about 7:30, I guess. I was just leaving to make my calls. Farmers get up early, you know.
Yeah, I know. What happened?
Well, I was passing the office building, going to my car. Wanted to smoke, but didn't have any matches, so I stopped this fellow and asked him for a light. He was wearing a light trench coat with a hat brim pulled down. Could have been the ones you dug up a while ago.
Did you get a good look at his face?
No, not a very good one. Like I said, he had his hat brim pulled down, but it could have been that fellow Taylor. Now, I'm not positive, but it sure could have been.
You didn't notice which way he went, did you?
No, not exactly, but it seemed like he was headed for the office. I was lighting up with a book of matches he gave me, and when I looked up, he'd gone.
Oh, he didn't take the matches back.
No, in fact, I think I have them on me. Oh, yes, here they are. Only one match left, but I guess...
Skylark Motel, Portland, Oregon. You don't mind if I keep these, Mr. Morgan?
Sure, you're welcome to them. I hope this is of some help to you.
I'll let you know. Don't go too far away. Might want to talk to you again. Here.
This doesn't help Taylor's case any. Portland, Oregon. Can't be more than a day's drive from his home in Bremerton.
Yeah, but I can't forget the fact that the detective said he was innocent. It's never been wrong, Pete. Not once.
The evidence was piling up against Taylor. Evidence that contradicted the suspect's statements and even the lie detector itself. The following morning, having been released on bail pending trial, Taylor made another appearance at the motel.
Taylor, you're supposed to be in jail.
I'm out on bail. I got to see Mrs. Carey.
What's going on here? Call the police, Henry. Tell him he's escaped.
It won't do any good. They just let him out on bail again. Now, you get out of here.
Why do you keep on lying? What are you trying to do to me?
They won't blame me for killing you when I tell them you came back and tried it again. Now, get out. And Ethel, you've got to do it. You've got to put your money in the bank.
I'll take care of my own money. I'll keep it right here where I know it'll be safe.
But you're not safe. As long as Taylor is loose, you'll never be safe. He'll come back, and next time he'll kill you. I'll take it to the bank for you, Aunt Ethel, this afternoon.
All right, you can drive me in, but I'll carry the money myself.
Wilbur, we had the break of our lives. Taylor's out on bail. He can be our patsy again.
Again? You crazy. I should never have listened to you when you wanted me to turn the matches over to the cops, taking a chance of them tying me in with it. But I'm not trying it again.
Listen, I know how much this old bat makes in this motel. She must have 10 grand stashed away. We're not taking a chance this time. It's not like before. We don't have to lift Taylor's hat and coat.
I don't see why you just can't find the money.
Don't you think I've tried? Turned this place upside down every day for a month. She's got it hidden too well. But this time, we don't have to find the dough. She's going to take it to the bank. She's going to have it with her. I'll be driving the car. You be waiting where I tell you. I'll fake car trouble and stop. This time, it'll be a cinch.
What's the matter, Henry?
I don't know. Not out of gas.
What's the matter, Henry?
Probably died of old age. I always told you ought to get a new one.
Yes, but new cars cost money.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't part with a plug nickel if it killed you. Nice going, Wilbur. Now get back to the motel and check out. Where you parked?
Across the field.
Now get on home. I'll get in touch with you in a couple days. Wilbur, you forgot something. And make it look good.
That call just came in. Somebody slugged her out, Mrs. Carey, on the highway.
And Taylor's out on bail?
I know it was Taylor. I saw him with my own eyes. He even showed up at the motel this morning. Had to run him off with a gun. Must have heard me tell my aunt to put her money in the bank, and he followed us.
Miss Carey's still alive. Could be a skull fracture. She's going to be all right. How are you?
I'm all right.
Wouldn't you like to go to emergency with your aunt?
No. Somebody's going to have to look after the motel. That is, if I'm free to go.
Yeah, you're free to go. But only to the motel. Don't go away. We might want to talk to you again.
Talk, huh? That's all you ever do. If you kept your eye on Taylor in the first place, this thing wouldn't have happened.
What do you say we take one more chance?
What do you mean?
On the lie detector. If Taylor's guilty on both counts, we ought to say so, at least this time. I want to see Taylor as soon as possible. Put a pickup on him.
.150 headquarters.
A call was put out for Taylor, and within the hour, his pickup was effected. Patrolman Bergen rushed him to headquarters. As before, he willingly submitted to the lie detector. And, as before, it indicated he was innocent.
Just don't get it, Dan. You've always had such good luck with the lie detector. I don't see how it can be so wrong now.
Well, what if it isn't?
Taylor's been identified twice.
What if the detective's telling the truth? What would that mean to you?
Well, it would mean Mrs. Carey was wrong. It would mean Henry was lying. But he had an alibi for the first time back at the motel. He'd have to have an accomplice.
Let's give the lie detector one more chance. Because if Taylor is innocent, somebody's got to be lying. Now, what about Wilbur Morgan? If Taylor is innocent, where did Morgan get the matches?
Now what do you want?
Been looking for you, Henry. We picked him up.
Had no business letting him out on bail in the first place.
Well, I think that's up to the judge. Oh, by the way, we tried the lie detector test again. Still says he's innocent.
So what? Don't prove nothing.
Well, let's assume that the lie detector is right. Taylor is innocent. Means that somebody's lying. Could be you when you say he slugged and robbed your aunt.
I suppose I slugged myself over the head, too, huh?
Oh, no, there's somebody else mixed up in this, and he's lying, too. A fellow by the name of Wilbur Morgan.
Wilbur Morgan. Now, what's he got to do with this?
Well, he had a book of matches that belonged to Taylor. He said that Taylor gave them to him. I suppose Taylor didn't. That means he found them in the pocket of the coat, which he stole from Taylor to use as a disguise when he beat up your aunt yesterday.
You can't connect me with this. I had an alibi yesterday.
Yesterday, I agree. But today you're on the scene. We checked your register. Morgan is checked out. What would you say if I told you we'd picked him up? Had the money with him, told the whole story.
Can't prove nothing on me.
Henry, would you like to try the lie detector test again? You know how it works now. Maybe it'll say you're innocent. Yeah, put a call out to pick up Morgan. It's essential to have no money on it.
You said you already picked him up.
No, I never said that. I said we checked the register and found out he left.
You'd never trap me without lying.
I didn't trap you, kid. The truth did. Bring him along. Next week's case, handled by the Highway Patrol, is a very exciting one. We hope you'll be with us. Until then, remember, the careless driver isn't driving his car. He's aiming it. This is Bradley Crawford saying see you next week.